It's time to step inside the Octagon with your host, Ike Feldman.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, fight fans? What's up, fight community? It is your boy at Ike Feldman or at Octagon everywhere. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. All the handles are locked down. Get involved in the show, 646-820-9848. I want to hear your opinions on all things combat sports or life or lifestyle or dating advice. I could give that, maybe. Piece of advice: never get relationship advice from somebody who is single. Oh, Ike, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nate Diaz is a free agent. Paddy Pimblett versus Jake Paul. Maybe that will happen. Conor McGregor versus Artem Lowball continues. I got an update on that. It's getting wilder and wilder. Conor McGregor is on the set of Roadhouse 2, and he is just feeling himself. But we'll get to that and more. And again, if you guys want to get involved on this afternoon's program, 646-820-9848. As you can see it ticking below, I'm very proud that I could figure this out, this StreamYard stuff. It's powered by StreamYard. You can see it in the corner. I'm getting good at figuring out my quadrants, my quads. So let's get into it. Nate Diaz, a free freaking agent, as first reported by Mark Raimondi of ESPN. He confirmed, Mark Raimondi was not the first. It was MMA Fighting. Mark is biting from his old branch. He used to work at MMA Fighting, but now he's at ESPN. Nate Diaz was removed from the UFC roster. And if you guys want to be the first to know who is removed from the UFC roster, potentially on a daily basis, more likely a weekly basis, follow UFC Roster Watch on Twitter. This guy or gal or they are on top of every single UFC athlete that is removed up to the minute who is being removed from the roster. And as soon as this was broke, everybody starts assuming, holy crap, I guess Dana White could not work it out with a legend of the sport, one of the biggest stars of the sport, probably the biggest active MMA fighter, Conor McGregor. Now, I said active. Conor McGregor is on a yacht, being an oligarch somewhere. Israel Adesanya is fantastic and well-known within the fight community, but has he cracked through to the casual fan? Not so much. Even though he's been on First Take in big programs under the Disney family of programming, still hasn't cracked through to the casual fan. Nate Diaz, because of the Conor fights, the amazing rivalry, just his persona, his brother, his attitude, cracks through to every medium of, being. If you are just a human being, you can understand where Nate Diaz is coming from. And if you're not understanding where he's coming from, he'll slap you and let you know where he's coming from. 209, motherfucker. 209, bitch. He'll let you know where he's coming from if you don't know where he's coming from. But Nate Diaz is a free agent. Holy moly. I thought that Francis Ngannou would be a free agent before Nate Diaz, actually. Francis Ngannou, heading into his UFC 270 fight back in January against Cyril Gane, a former teammate. The UFC and Francis Ngannou did not come to terms. And it's the first time in UFC history that a champion did not come to terms with the UFC in his final fight of his contract. So, just like we saw for the Yankees, where Aaron Judge said, I'm not negotiating with just you, the Yankees, after the season, or just you, the Yankees, during the season, if you do not give me my money, pay my money, pay me now. If you do not pay me now prior to the start of the MLB regular season, I don't want to hear contract talk. Very similar situation for Francis Ngannou. He did not, I mean, I'm sure he had a number, and the UFC did not want to meet it. And Francis Ngannou said, okay, you guys are trying to take me out with this guy who is probably the cleanest, the most athletic kickboxer in the heavyweight division in Cyril Gane, a guy who probably knows most of my every move. Okay. You're not going to meet my number? Okay. I'm going to go in there with a torn ligament in his knee, maybe both knees, maybe a tear in one and, and a partial tear in another. Uh, Ergo the knee braces. If you go back and watch that 270 main event, Francis Ngannou bet on himself and came through in the clutch. He out wrestled, out grappled, out willed Cyril Gane when it really mattered, and it's tremendous. He did not want to talk contract after that fight. He goes, "We're gonna take some time. I'm gonna get healthy, and maybe you'll meet my number now." So a lot of people miss this. There is a championship clause in the Francis Ngannou contract where if you are a champion in the UFC fighting on your last fight, the UFC thinks they're going to get the last laugh because you cannot compete anywhere. You cannot be a free agent for a full year following your last championship defense. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, is what the UFC is trying with that nice little caveat in their mind in the contract. But Francis Ngannou's like, I can't even compete till January in 2023. I have torn knees. I can barely walk. I just fought my ass off. Like, I've been very active. Yeah, I'll take a year off. This works out. And it's beautiful when things work out for the best, for the fighter, the athlete. We could get into fighter pay if you want. 646-820-9848 if you have something you want to bark about or bitch about. I'm all ears, or one ear piece. I think I need to do this when I talk to my wife. Just put in one earpiece. It's like, I hear you. I got you. I hear you. Nate Diaz, UFC 279, was supposed to fight Khamzat Chimaev. Oh my goodness. One of the biggest underdog lines in UFC history. I believe he started at a plus 800. Now, I still call shenanigans for that whole orchestrating of the UFC 279 fight week with the mixing and the matching. Kevin Holland is fighting at a catchweight 180 originally against Daniel Rodriguez. Oh my goodness. Khamzat Chimaev weighs in at 178.5. Oh, wow. It's not like he missed by 2 pounds, 173. It's not like he missed by 5 pounds. He missed by, a weight that's actually very comfortable for Kevin Holland and Hamzat to make a fight, match make it. Tony Ferguson hasn't fought at welterweight in over 11 years. He's got his first welterweight fight scheduled against Li Jingliang. Nate Diaz fights at welterweight. Oh, Hamzat can't make weight. Oh, he's fighting Kevin Holland. Oh, perfect. We got Tony Ferguson, two big names. The card just got better. How perfect was that? Come on. Come on. And for those of you saying, well, Li Jingliang was the only person who was screwed out of everybody. Yeah, I would say that was intentional. The UFC see everything, know everything. They're watching right now. I love you guys. Nabi, Dave, You guys are the best. Who else works in you? Dana, love you too, brother. Hunter, you're the man. Mick, great. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking and subscribing and listening. Li Jingliang, Li Jingliang, in his fight prior to UFC 279, fought at Nassau Coliseum, and he was waving around the Chinese flag, which I have absolutely no problem with. But since the war broke out between Russia and Ukraine, the UFC has banned any flags, any fighter walking out with their flag. Max Holloway can't even walk out with the Hawaii flag. Chris Weidman couldn't walk out with the American flag. Frank Yeager, anybody. Nate Diaz walk out with the pirate flag. Couldn't walk out with this pirate flag. Li Jingliang, following his win at Nassau Coliseum, pulled out the Chinese flag, started waving it around. Immediately, a security or a member of the UFC ripped it away from him, and just about 2 months later, he gets the short end of the stick when he is the person who had to fight a bigger guy in Daniel Rodriguez, about a 10-pound weight difference. So the UFC sees all. They are the all-seeing father, the eye. The eye of Salomon is the UFC. We just have to get Frodo and Bilbo to stop everything. I still don't remember how that movie ended. But it all worked out for Nate Diaz. Very similar how it worked out for Francis Ngannou. Nate Diaz got the easier fight. Whether or not the UFC is even prompting him up and helping him, it's hard to tell. Maybe they are, and that maybe they are so confident that they could get Nate Diaz to resign that why not give him this easier opponent in Tony Ferguson. All respect, no offense. Instead of this young, unknown, absolute destroyer in Hamzat Chimaev, we'll do you a favor. You'll do us a favor. Oh, wait, you're not going to do us a favor? Wait, you're going to go to free agency? Are you kidding me? We can't meet your number? Nate, I thought we cleared the air after UFC 202, and then it took you about 3 years to the day, UFC 241, to return. Nate, I thought we cleared the air. Oh, you're actually going to be a free agent? Oh, you're now teasing a fight with Jake Paul, who we'll get into in a couple of minutes. Nate, we're sorry. How does the UFC not know who they're negotiating with? Nate Diaz, the Diaz brothers, Nick and Nate, Stockton, California, Caesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Fighter, Nick Diaz Academy, NDA, baby, all day. How do they not know who they're talking with, negotiating with, trying to reach an agreement with? How does the UFC, Hunter Campbell, who is the mastermind of the UFC negotiations right now, how does he not understand the Nate Diaz attitude? I don't know if the UFC should hire like a street division, a European division in terms of negotiation skills. Maybe you have one guy who's like, "All right, Khabib, we could not get your what you want. We will do this. We will do that." Because Dana White personally went out to dinner with Khabib at least 4 times trying to get him come back post UFC 254, the Justin Gaethje fight. Did not work. You needed that Russian Dana White, and now you need the street Dana White or Hunter Campbell. You need a guy who's like, "Yo, what's up, Nate? Thank you for coming out to dinner. Applebee's. I know we like to do it big for you. We really appreciate you and love everything you've done for us." They would be like, "Yeah, I get it. I get it." They would dap it up. Why can't we get the? If Hunter Campbell showed up wearing a do-rag, I think Nate Diaz is calling shenanigans there. Do you think Nate Diaz likes Applebee's? That's the question I want to throw to you guys. Again, 646-820-9848. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinion. Again, we could go generic fighter pay. We could talk about the conspiracy that is UFC 279. But moving forward, where's my graphic? Where's my graphic team? Paddy Pimblett versus Jake Paul. What? WTF? WTF? WTH? Let's keep it PG-13. So, via Pub Talk, Paddy Pimblett. Jake Paul is actually not that bad now, even though I think his fights are fixed. Okay. So there's a lot going around to be made of with Tyron Woodley. Did he signal for Jake Paul to clean his clock and knock him into another dimension in their second fight? Did Ben Askren not cover up his guard, make it a closed guard? Did he just walk in like a drunken Irishman, like the Fighting Irishman? Excuse me, no pun intended, and let Jake Paul annihilate him like Tyron Woodley? Did Anderson Silva do his dance, make a little love, and then get knocked down in the eighth? Is Jake Paul fixing fights? Well, Paddy Pimblett, whether it's a joke or not, brings it up. Jake Paul responded via Twitter. Shout outs to Elon Musk. Who knows what that guy's doing? Is he bored? He bought Twitter. He can't get to Mars, so he buys Twitter. This is what Jake says. Dear Paddy Pimblett, you claim my fights are rigged. Another word for fixed. Stop calling the GOAT Anderson Silva a criminal and come spar with me. Going away, come spar with me, man. Whatever that song is. You win, I give you $1 million. I'll spar you, Jake. I win, you join the United Fighters Association. So, I'll get into the UFA, United Fighter Associations, in a second. Why is Jake Paul making it that obvious? Paddy Pimblett weighs right now probably the same as Jake Paul, 200. But Jake Paul's about 10 pounds within his fighting weight. Paddy Pimblett's about 50 pounds within his fighting weight. Can Jake Paul fight? Make it a wrestler. Make it an active MMA wrestler, but somebody who's in their prime. Is it that obvious that he's calling out these guys that he will have a major advantage over? Now, that'd be freaking awesome. If you got Paddy the Fatty just rolling into Jake Paul's gym, wherever that may be, his home base, no idea, and just putting a whooping on Jake Paul. I mean, Jake Paul should give him $1 million for showing up. As the Diaz brother said, again, if he shows up, it's considered a win. If Dustin Poirier didn't show up for UFC, what was it, 230? They were supposed to do a catch weight of 165. Or if Nate Diaz slaps Khabib and team on the street, he considers those victories. So Jake Paul should give Paddy $1 million just for showing up and sparring. I would respect it. But this isn't going to happen. Can they do 1 round box and 1 round grappling? That'd be fun. More importantly, the UFA, the United Fighters Association. I recently heard a clip of Anthony Smith, courtesy of SiriusXM Fight Nation Radio. And my boy Eric sent me this, P.O. Eric. Shout outs to Eric and Joe, P.O. Eric and Joe. Love you guys. Congrats on your success. Really appreciate you guys. Anthony Lionheart Smith, a former title challenger to John Jones, a man who is now a veteran in the UFC's light heavyweight division, a guy who is just, I mean, it says it in his name, Lionheart. Truly respectable. Anthony Smith went off on Jake Paul. Went freaking off. and maybe I can find this. It is in my messages somewhere. Went off and saying that you're claiming that you are an advocate for fighter pay and that you support all combat sports, yet you are picking off one by one non youthful boxing former MMA stars in Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva. How are you an advocate for combat sports if you're picking off these guys to climb up their back to give yourself fame? Well, I cannot take a side on this yet because those are most of that is true. He is fighting guys who first and foremost fought in MMA. They are not in their prime. But he did say Anderson Silva will be a part of this UFA. Yeah, they're going to fight. I fight my teammates. We still hug. We still have conversations. We still text. Imagine if you're fighting somebody that you're going to work with who also made a shit ton of money for this event, who's also 47 years old, who, hey, why not can't he be a head of a board or some type of ambassador for the UFA, the United Fighters Association? Anderson Silva? Maybe. Maybe he could. That's why when Jake Paul says, "Dear Paddy, you claim my fights are rigged. Stop calling the GOAT Anderson Silva a criminal. Come spar me. You win, I give you $1 million. I win, you join the UFA." Is Jake Paul talking out of his ass here? Does Jake Paul really care about the fighters? I think it's yes and yes. Is he using these guys to make his name bigger, claim more fame? Of course, he's winning. They're signing up to the contract too. But did he help get the first women's boxing event at Madison Square Garden between Amanda Serrano, New York's own? How did that not happen earlier? And Katie Taylor, the UK's own, one undefeated, one a holder of multiple belts. Jake Paul and Eddie Hearn made a fight happen. That's on Dana White level, and he's literally 25. So I think Anthony Lionheart needs to cool the jets a little. I respect him. I've been to his gym in Factory X, Denver, Colorado. He may be biting off being a radio host too much right now, where it's hot take, say all the crazy shit, get the attention, click, 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 click. Cool your jets. I understand you have air you have to fill. But also present that Jake Paul is being an advocate for combat sports. Whether it's a lot or whether it's a little, he is. So I think that has to be acknowledged. Finally, with about 5 minutes left, we return. McGregor versus Artem.
Hey, Artem is a rat, na 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 na. Hey, rat. Artem is a rat, na 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 na. Hey, na 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 na. Hey, Artem is a rat, na 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 na. Hey, rat.
Oh my goodness, it's a great beat. You cannot deny it. I'm trying to figure out the BPM. I'm trying to figure out the exact beat to it. I could put a techno song. I was a little lazy in getting that going. But the new update with Conor McGregor and his former buddy in Artem Lobov. I'm trying to find the exact quote here. He posted on Twitter that now Artem is suing Conor and Conor's dad for defamation, which means he's Artem believes his character is being torn down by the McGregor family, and maybe that's true, but Connor's laughing that off. He's like, he thinks it's a big joke, and he calls him pal, buddy. But then a few hours later, maybe this is deleted. I can't find the tweet. There's just Connor with the do-rag on his face, looking like he's about to do some mobster stuff, which is like, dude, what? Are you bored? Are you bored? Go have a drink. Or sell a drink. Go sell a drink. Connor challenged Artem Lobov to meet him at the very gym where they started training together. SBG Ireland, Straight Blast Gym Ireland, which is run and maintained by John Kavanagh the Great. Connor challenged him to a fight, and he goes, "You win, you get the whole lot." I remember that quote from the tweet. He said, "If you win, meet me at SBG. If you win, you get the whole lot. Come on, pal. Basically, don't run away. Don't scurry. You get the whole lot if you win." And Artem's like, I ain't gonna be there. We're in a real court case. Connor, my lawyers are gonna be there. Okay, if you tell me a location. Oh yeah, Connor wrote the time. He said at 10:30 p.m. Okay, weird time, but that would be excellent if Artem showed up with his lawyers. Unbelievable, unbelievable. It gets crazier. It literally gets crazier with Conor McGregor and Artem Lobov. I think it's a new low. I think it's a new low. As I've said a couple days ago and last week, Conor McGregor being sued by the same guy who helped him achieved all those hundreds of millions of dollars is just a new low. You can't give him the 30 million that he's asking for? Dude, he's been a punching bag for your whole career. Are you kidding me? Oh, Artem can't take it. He can't. He's not gonna take it, but he'll take a check of 30 million. Ding, 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 30 million. Ding, 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 ding. Just pay the man. Pay the man his money. That's the theme for this episode. Pay the men, if they've earned it, their money. Francis Ngannou, hell yeah, he earned it. Going to a co-promotion, Dana, with Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury in the 4-ounce gloves, I think that would be fun. Who would not want to see that? That is a sell job. Francis Ngannou is a gentle giant. He will say funny, very sarcastic jokes, but Tyson Fury will sell the hell out of that. I would love to see that. Sign me up for that. There's the back time music. I'm wrapping up, folks. Again, get involved. 646-820-9848. Who deserves their money? Francis Ngannou, Nate Diaz, Artem Lobov. Maybe I'll put a poll on Twitter, and you guys can answer it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed that impression of Nate Diaz and the street Hunter Campbell. I hope you guys did too. I love you. Stay cool. I love my beautiful wife. We are 8 years strong. Happy anniversary, my love. Peace.